Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a long-range outlook, long-range update, and we will be discussing in this long-range outlook update. Sorry about that. This is the third time I'm recording this video, so I do apologize if I'm a little bit tripped up. But we'll be talking about a major winter storm that will be occurring, or at this point, fairly likely to be occurring somewhere across the Midwest and North Central United States. We don't know exactly where because the track could still shift, but major cities will get impacted by this. This will be occurring around the Christmas time frame, so definitely a travel disruptor. And we'll need to definitely keep an eye on this. So um, stay tuned to my channel. If you'd like to support this channel, consider subscribing, consider liking the video. It helps my channel grow, and it helps me get out better videos to you guys. So thank you for that. And let's just zoom back out into the whole continental United States, and let's see what we are looking at. Right now, we're looking at a fairly big rainstorm, winter storm, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit snowy on the northern side, but not much in the United States. And this passes through. We get a little cooler shot of air. Nothing, extraordinary for late December, almost January. It's actually still fairly warm. We get a weak clipper going on in here across the southern Canada area and northern US. It starts falling apart. Maybe combines with a little bit of energy right here in the south. We'll need to watch this, guys. We could be potentially looking at a white Christmas for some of these areas across the Northeast, Boston, New York, Connecticut. All of those areas could be looking at a shot of snow on Christmas Eve, which could then, be on Christmas Day a little bit of a little bit of snow, which would maybe, if there's an inch or more, produce a white Christmas. So we go through in time and we start seeing a massive storm, a pretty large one, making its way onto the western coast. And that's where it starts. This storm decides to take a track to the south and basically makes its perfect environment for developing a massive blizzard or winter storm. We don't know the wind speeds yet with this exactly, but I know I have a friend that always asks in northwest Iowa whether they will see major snow or major winds. This time around, you may actually be seeing that, guys. So stay tuned, and we'll keep an eye on you guys in northwest Iowa for sure. So this storm goes out here and goes to the southern the Four Corners area, basically in that region. Again, it's not set in stone yet, and it takes a track something like this. And while it does that along here, once it moves out somewhere along this area, it starts getting access to the Gulf of Mexico moisture. Low pressure spin counterclockwise, so it does so and brings up a whole load of moisture up into the cold air, which is brought down by the high pressures that are up there, and that these two kind of meet in the middle, and some areas get rain, some areas get heavy snow. It's a classic winter storm, especially. It's looking like a late winter storm. It should be occurring in March or late February. It's looking like one of those type of storms, a typical mushroom cloud looking storm. So if you if we were to look at this, we see again the moisture gets pulled up from the southern United States, the Gulf of Mexico, and we go through in time again that those high pressures are pumping the cold air into the system, and the snow results as a result of that. We get quite a bit of heavy snow into Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, and even into North Dakota, northwest Iowa, again, right on that brink. Lamar's, Iowa. I always have a friend that lives there, asks, you guys may be seeing heavy rain or maybe seeing heavy snow. It really depends. And afterwards, you for sure probably will see some snow if this pans out like it is looking right now. But, right now, central Minnesota looks to be getting the brunt of this. And if we were to look at the total snowfall accumulations, they're just ridiculous, guys. A foot and a half is very common, 16, 12, 18 inches. Minneapolis, I almost said Minneapolis, Wisconsin. Minneapolis, Minnesota, sorry about that, would be right in the smack middle of the storm. But again, I want to emphasize and tell you guys that this storm track has shifted over the past couple of days in quite majorly. It has been going all over the place. Let's see if I could go back to some of the previous model runs. You can see this is the model run before that, much further to the south. Minneapolis, located right there in those counties, would not be getting much snow. We go back to the previous model run. not at all snow, maybe an inch, and the brunt of this down to the south. We go back to the other model run, a little bit to the north of this. So this has been all over the place, but now it's generally starting to hone in on the basically on the on the fact that it will be summer around central Minnesota, Wisconsin, and into, I don't know why this isn't loading. I apologize. I will be getting a new computer soon, so the recording quality of these videos should go up. And I usually clear my throat several times throughout the video, and I'll be able to cut that out once I get once I get a better computer. And right now I can't really edit that out, so I do apologize. Now I've been getting a couple of comments saying I should stop clearing my throat. I know I should, but I can't really edit it out. So this is I showed you the GFS right now. This is the latest model run. Quite a bit of snow. Let's go to the Canadian model. I want to first show you the test GFS parallel model run. Typically, this will replace the GFS next year, I think, sometime. So it's showing that snow all over the place, and it usually does something like this, where it predicts something or predicts where the snow will be on the next GFS run. So it kind of it's kind of like a test snowfall. So you can see it shows, I think, that the GFS may, let's see, but in the 18Z may be looking something like this, since the FV3 GFS is looking like this now. That's basically what it does. I don't think the snow will look like this the day of the storm, but it just goes to show you that there's still so much uncertainty with this storm, with this track of the storm, where the cold air will be, where the warm front will be. There's just a lot of uncertainty. How much cold air will there be? How much warm air will there be? Let's go quickly to the Canadian model, and that's a CMC. And we were looking at, again, quite a bit of snow across these areas. Minneapolis, again, getting the brunt of this, maybe potentially at this point. I can't say for sure, but the Canadian model also has been kind of all over the place, not really looking good. Let's just go back to the OOZ model run. It has been, completely almost diminished into a minor event, not completely major. We go back to the new model run, we see quite a bit more of snow. And I also like to point out that the Canadian is showing quite a bit of snow in the northeast. So that could, it's not with the same storm, but it could be a different storm around the fucking, after Christmas, around the New Year time frame. So we could be watching for that, but it doesn't seem likely at this point. So let's go to the pivotalweather.com. I'd like to show you the snowfall amounts here. This is GFS, the same thing I showed you, but Kuchera, which gives you maybe a little bit more accurate snowfall amounts, has a little bit more for those areas. But again, this is, guys, not set in stone. This will still change, but a major Christmas storm is likely brewing at this point. So let's quickly go to the European model, and again, it's fairly confident as well. It's actually lined up fairly well with the GFS, maybe a little bit further to the north, but heavy snow, I would say 10 to 15 inches of widespread. Let's just click on random location. 15 inches here, 11 inches. In the higher mount areas around St. Paul, if we were to zoom in, potentially up to 19, 20, almost 2 feet of snow, which sometimes the models tend to do this when it's so far out. They tend to over-exaggerate the snowfall amounts, especially European model. But I'm not saying this is out of the question. Now for the next, I'd like to look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, a little bit different part of the long range video, a little bit on the pattern, the temperatures. And this is from December 27th to New Year's Eve. We're seeing extremes of temperatures, two sides battling out, very cold or very high confidence in it being cold across the Four Corners area, and very high confidence of it being very warm across the southeast. Precip above average in the southeast, which may bring some severe weather to the southeast with this big storm that's going to be occurring, because warm weather, moist weather above average, that could be just a perfect recipe for severe weather. And then a little bit wetter in the a little bit drier in the west. 8 to 14 day outlook. This is sending from the 29th into the 4th of January, the new year 2019. And it seems like the cold air has, won out the battle and is pushing a little bit further and further to the east, and the warm air has been shoved aside into the ocean. And then we look at the at the precip, and we see quite a bit of above average conditions across the southeast and into the northeast remaining, while still a little bit drier in the west. I won't be too confident on this yet about this below average in the west, but we'll just have to see what happens. So that's basically it for today's video, guys. I hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. I really like making these videos for you, so consider subscribing, consider liking the video, and I will catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.